friends, welcome back to another episode of Reel It In. We are talking about a new release today, Avatar, Fire and Ash. My name is Will.
And I'm Tucker.
And he's Tucker. We've been talking about movies like this for almost 10 years. We just decided to put microphones in front of our faces. We usually talk about what are the best films of the people, for the people, by the people.
The people being our friends.
But our friends, yes. However, every once in a while, we like to break it up and talk about a new film that's out in theaters. And right now, that film is the biggest movie on the face of the planet right now. And that's Avatar, Fire and Ash. Tucker, let's drop a line.
And dive in.
I want to start off by asking, are you going to be catching or tossing Avatar, Fire and Ash?
Well. This is a fat, stinking catch. I really liked it.
Okay.
Really good.
You scared me for a second. I was like, holy crap.
I know.
That would be a zag.
I kind of thought I was going to hate this, but I really loved it. I really thought it was great. How about you?
Yeah, I'm also going to be catching this film as well. No surprise to anybody who knows me and my love of these Avatar movies. However, I am not rushing back to see this movie like I was with the previous two.
Okay. I was going to ask because I think you sent me a screenshot of, 3 different tickets to go see this movie over the course of a week.
Yes.
In different varying formats.
Yes, I still have one of those. I'm going to go see it in 4DX on Christmas morning.
Okay.
Because I have nothing else to do on Christmas morning. With something as big as this, it's hard to know where to start. So let's start with the theatrical experience.
So for those who don't know, I work at a movie theater. I went before open, early in the morning. I was like, I'm gonna test this baby out, see how it's working.
I saw it in IMAX 3D. My IMAX is considered a IMAX, but it's a newer one, so it has dual laser and is capable of the HFR. What did you see this in?
I just saw it in a standard. It was 2D. Yeah.
Whoa.
Look, I went to the biggest screen in my theater, which is a relatively large screen. Like I said, I went there before the theater opened, but I don't like watching 3D movies. That's just a personal preference.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this on Thursday evening, opening night, with a group of about 12 people, and it was not sold out the way that I thought it would be. The box office receipts from the weekend were a little telling about how we feel about Avatar domestically. It opened at $88 million compared to the $125 million that was The Way of Water versus $75 million for the original Avatar. Adjusted for inflation, of course, that's higher than this one, but you have to consider the time gap between Avatar 1 and 2 and then 2 and 3. It's been 3 years since The Way of Water. People are not as hungry for another Avatar film as they might have been, or interested or curious. I don't think this movie is as accessible as the first two films. This is an action adventure film that grabs you and does not let go. And I think that's the reason why I'm not rushing back to theaters to see this, because I genuinely walked out and felt exhausted. I had felt like I ran a marathon, because it is 3 hours and 17 minutes. And there is so much that happens in this movie compared to 1 and 2, where you went on this nice little introduction to a world and were getting situated and got to experience the flora and fauna. And then this movie was like, all right, we did all that already. Let's just go, dude. Go. We're going to introduce some new things, but you're not going to have time to live in it. You're not living in this world. You're just along for a ride in this film.
This isn't really a movie to show you a new terrain in Pandora. If anything, this is my new working theory is... All right, now stick with me. Avatar 2 is actually Avatar 1. Avatar 3, yes, okay. Avatar 3 is actually Avatar Part 2. It's a two-parter. Yeah. And then Avatar 1 is certainly a prequel. Because half the characters are missing. It's setting up the Sigourney Weaver of it all. It's setting up the Sam Worthington, the Miles Quaritch, the Neytiri. It's literally setting up these 4 characters That's what the first one is about. Like you could kind of jump straight into Way of Water. You'll be lost on some shit and you'll be like, damn, I wonder what that's all about. Hey man, just go back and watch that Avatar movie. You'll get it.
And I wonder if that's almost a better way to watch these movies because it creates an intrigue and interest in this world, and it asks questions that you can find in another piece of media that you don't necessarily need. It's just a nice to have. I think with the only exception of maybe you'd miss out on a lot of Quaritch lore.
Yeah, no, honestly, that is true because I love Miles Quaritch. I mean, I don't endorse his actions. I don't.
No.
But he is the king of these fucking movies, in my opinion. He's just stomping all over the place, walking around everybody. I love him.
He's great in this. So who are your standouts from this movie?
Who are my guys?
Who are your guys?
Of course, Stephen Lang as Quaritch. Is it Una Chaplin as Varang, the leader of the Ash people? Holy shit.
Scary.
Very
scary.
Feeling some other things along with the scare. Quaritch has that dog in him, man. I get it. I kind of get it. James Cameron is doing something with these Na'vi. I don't know. There's something in the water. I mean, I feel like those were my main standouts, to be honest. It was just the two villains.
They are the stars of the film.
They are.
I will say that. Your working theory of Avatar is just a prequel because of how boring the story is, in addition to Way of Water is just kind of a reset almost and a remake of the first one.
Yeah, it's like 16 years later.
Literally is. This is where if you were not invested in the characters and the story and the lore of Pandora after The Way of Water, this is your breaking point. This is where you say, okay, I'm on board. Or, okay, no, this is just not working for me. Because motivations are finally being revealed. They're becoming a lot more well-rounded characters. We know who Jake is now. We're kind of losing a little bit of Neytiri, in my opinion. She kind of took a backseat in this film, and not a great way. But if you're invested in the dynamic between Jake and the Na'vi, who are not the Ash people, and Quaritch and his like reverse dark-sided becoming the opposite of Jake, the antithesis of Jake, this is where it can take off. And for me, I am very, very interested in where the story is going now. I'm very invested in this world, and I hear a lot of people saying the opposite based off of this film. What is your opinion, having seen it now?
Okay, I 100% agree with you. I feel like there's something that's going on. Like Zoe Saldana and Neytiri were like the most pivotal, central thing in that first movie, and it honestly felt in the second one. You know, she's coming in and out, and then this third one, she's a featured player mostly. She does not have very much to do. What I found was interesting. I found the most compelling thing about this movie and The Way of Water was Quaritch and Jake Sully's relationship to Spider, and then Jake's relationship to his remaining birth son, Loak. The difference of how he views and treats Spider and how he treats his own son versus the way that Quaritch feels about Spider. Those father-son dynamics, they're very classical, though I might have some problems with the Spider performance. I do feel like they're setting him up to, from Way of Water, I thought they were setting up Jake Sully's son to be the new lead. It kind of feels like they're setting up Spider and Sigourney Weaver to run with this franchise.
Interesting to set up a 70-year-old woman and a 19-year-old boy to be your leads for the future of a space saga.
You're like semi-romantic leads.
Not even semi. There is a full kiss in this film.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is wild. And I think that's again, some people are looking at this and going, I'm out. I'm completely out.
Couldn't be me.
But I have to honestly, it can't be me either. I'm in on it. The father-son relationship is echoing of so many other pieces of literature and so many other great pieces of media in a way that does feel very classical, and that James Cameron is trying to create like a new classic, it feels like, in the vein
A
of Star
new
Wars.
like mythology, yeah.
Yes. And in a way, how Star Wars, the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, I am really getting vibes of The Empire Strikes Back from this film. Like, I think that this is, the Avatar Empire Strikes Back. Just its darker tone, its introduction of new themes, the father-son relationship dynamic and how that is introduced and how that complicates things, especially in the climax of this film, and how it is just unrelenting in the same way that like Empire Strikes Back is just, there's just so much stuff that happens.
Can I make the argument that I think Way of Water and Fire of Ash are both the Empire Strikes Back? Just because this week I went and I rewatched Avatar 1, next day turned on Avatar Way of Water, and then I immediately watched Fire and Ash. And when I was watching Way of Water, I literally thought to myself, oh wow, there's some Empire Strikes Back in here towards the end with Neytiri holding up Spider and going, a son for a son. Like that whole arc, and the way that those characters kind of end at the end of the second movie is they're like, well, we have to gear up for a war, and the way this movie starts is Jake Sully collecting guns from the sunken ship from the last movie. So it's genuinely hard for me to separate these two films as their own thing, just because it genuinely, like, the last scene of Way of Water is them connecting to the underwater, like, Tree of Souls. One of the opening scenes in this new movie is them underwater connecting to the Sea of Souls, having their visions. So it like truly leads one into the other. And I just think it's like, wow, you just gave us 6 hours of the downer middle chapter. Like there was a lot of upbeat stuff. There was a lot of good things that happened, but at the same time, yeah, one long journey.
It is. And I think that it was originally written as one story, and they broke this one story up into 2 films. Is that necessary? Probably not. But
well, isn't it interesting that you could break up each of these 2 films into 2 more films, just an hour and a half? Because like halfway through both of these movies, I genuinely was like, oh my God, the pacing. Halfway through this movie, I thought to myself, oh my God, this pacing is immaculate. I cannot believe we've already come to the end. What an amazing, incredible set piece. And you're leaving me off at a crazy cliffhanger. I can't wait to see what happens next. And then we got an hour and a half more movie.
And I don't know upon rewatch if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. But, here we are. You said you have issues with the spider performance in this film.
I'm sure this is a result of being just normal, just live action performance, performing off of nothing but motion capture, where people are really exploring and they're really going for it. And they're channeling these, crazy actor things, and then you got this guy giving a Disney Channel level performance of, I'm sure glad you guys stopped when you did. I really need to take a leak. What the? Get out of here, man. I did find it more charming in this movie than Way of Water, but
it is.
Yeah, they do find a tone.
Yes, the tone is cheese. I mean, this film fully embraces the cheese between the spider performance and Quaritch and Varang's relationship. But I do agree. Jack Champion, the actor who portrays Spider, he was, I think, 14, 15 years old when they filmed these. And it is evident that it is a challenging place to be performing from. However, I did find that this performance worked a lot more for me than it did in The Way of Water. He is with the rest of the family more in this film, and he works better working off of the other kids than he does bouncing off of Quaritch and other RDA people. He is the central conflict of this film. He is the MacGuffin. He is the living MacGuffin, which I think is really interesting. He represents Jake's humanity, and Neytiri and his other children represent, his his desire to be fully Na'vi, but he cannot 100% be fully Na'vi because he is an Avatar at the end of the day. And then you bring in the spiritual aspect of it with Ewa and with Sigourney Weaver's character of Kiri. I'm a sucker for this shit. Like, I'm a sucker for this mythology.
I do wish we had more of what you were talking about, the push and pull of Jake and his humanity and his wanting to be fully Na'vi, but he knows that he is an Avatar. My only issue is, like, we have a really great scene in the beginning of the movie where he's talking to Natiri about this, and she has some words to say about humans. I think she calls them like pink ass, stuff like that. And he's like, that's me. Like, so do you, when you look at our kids, anytime they screw up, do you think to yourself, that's the human part of them that's making them screw up? And she's like, yeah, I do. I really do. And I don't know. I just think that's very powerful. The only thing is, every other Na'vi on Pandora, full stop, accepts Jake Sully and thinks he's an amazing fucking, like, he's not just an awesome dude, he is our savior and our hero. So, like, his imposter syndrome is only coming from him and a little bit Natiri.
Yeah, it is. And what's interesting, it's funny you say that, because everybody fucks with Jake, right? Then you get to the whole idea of, like, well, how do these Na'vi feel about Spider? And we never really fully explore how the world feels about Spider.
It seems like everybody is chill with him too.
They are chill because they're laughing when they go to the
Wind Tribe, the Wind Pirates. See, but that's a great example of a scene where people are just cool with Spider, because Jake wants the Palak and the Wind Travelers to take Spider to go live with Norm, and Max and all the scientists, and they're just like, all right, we'll take the pink skin. And it's like, okay, so yeah, we like him. He has abs and dances. Like, we like him. We like Spider.
That's right. That's what he was doing.
He was
drumming on his. He was a backup dancer for J-Lo. They do need to talk a little bit about. I think that we're also losing a little bit of Earth is fucked, guys. Like, Earth is no good. No good. And maybe that's not the story that they want to tell, but, like, that's the central conflict right now is, like, we need to get humans to Earth,
to Pandora.
And the further we get from Avatar 1, the further we get from the understanding, like, the desperation of the humans.
Because there are very sparse lines where Jake will be like, if we let the humans get this MacGuffin, they're going to use it, they're going to exploit it. There's no more green on Earth. Remember that, guys. We killed all the green. We killed all the oceans. Where are you at? Do you like Dune or Avatar better as a movie franchise?
You can't put me on blast like this.
I just like to know.
Was I more excited to my soul is fulfilled by Dune, but my heart is happy with Avatar?
Canceled.
I know. I think it's nostalgia. I think I'm a little bit blinded by nostalgia. I was
so fair.
12 years old when I first saw the first Avatar. Without a doubt, Dune is a better made film. 100%. But which one am I going to rewatch more? I'm probably going to rewatch Avatar a little bit more.
I think this just cemented me as, like, a Dune guy, like, watching these movies. I really do love them, and I do think they're great. But yeah, fuck, those Dune movies are... Talk about it. It's just fantastic.
Good. Any final thoughts on Avatar: Fire and Ash?
I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Even things that I thought were kind of corny or hard to swallow, I found myself swallowing it pretty easily. Why'd I say that?
Heard it here first.
Will, was there anything you had to swallow with this?
Avatar: Fire and Ash. Spit or swallow?
Wait, can we change the theme of our pod?
No, we're not going to do that.
Wait, Will, please.
It would be funny. No, dude. Fire and Ash is a whole lot of fun. You can tell that this is kind of the story that he was really wanting to tell. And that's very exciting to me. I'm excited to see where this continues to go. I am a little concerned if we don't get more like exploration of Pandora, because I think that that's part of the beauty of these movies, is like getting to explore new lands and see them, be immersed in new cultures. We did not get that in this movie. In fact, we got that was like very, very much sped over if we did get any of it. But I do like this as a part 2 of a great duology. So fun times.
Fun times.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of Reel It In. We will be back soon with another episode of Fishing for Favorites, where we will be talking about Scooby Dooby Doo from 2002 with our good friend Macy. In the meantime, you can catch us on all social media platforms at Reel It In Pod, and be sure to stay subscribed to our podcast on whatever podcast platform of choice.
Yeah.
Tucker, I see you.
Well, I see you.
Hell yeah, you do.